Hey guys, so we're back again with another reading, and this one is your August forecast. So, we're going to be seeing what's going on in the month of August for you guys, what you need to know going into the month, what you should be aware of, what you should look forward to, what you should look out for. We're going to be getting into all of it, and today we have a beautiful selection of cards for you guys to choose from. And I do want to note that if for some reason you're watching this reading in the future, you're watching it in December or something, you can totally use it as a timeless, what's going to be happening in the month ahead for me or what I need to know right now type of reading. So don't freak out if you're watching it in January or whenever. But with that being said, if this is your first time watching one of my readings, welcome. And basically you are going to choose your card based on the energy that just seems to be calling to you, calling your name, holding your attention, whichever card just seems to be really sticking out to you and you just feel really drawn to it. That is the card with the message for you. So trust your intuition on that, let it guide you, and then feel free to scroll down to the timestamps in the comments and the description and jump right into your pile. I also want to mention to you guys that I do have my Patreon up with a ton of additional readings. So if you like how I read tarot, that's where you can go to find more of my content. I just posted one all about where you should relocate to. So what kind of location would best fit your energy, whether it's for traveling, a move, a living situation, what kind of environment and living situation and type of town would fit you the best. And before that, I posted one all about what makes you sexy. So that's a really fun and juicy one. But as soon as you sign up for my Patreon, you get access to all my additional readings. So about 60 additional readings about love, career, money, spirituality, future life, past lives, family, friends, so many different topics to choose from, about 60. So there's a lot to go through. So if you would like to join me over there on Patreon, then head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments and the description, and I would love to see you there. And if you guys want to get a private one-on-one reading with me, you can also get that at my website, briarrosetarot.com, and you can sign up for a half hour or a full hour-long session with me, have me pull tarot for you, read your astrology, channel mediumship, or intuitively for you. You can ask me about career, about love, about a year ahead reading, just a little energy check-in, popping the hood and seeing what's going on. You really can ask me about pretty much anything within reason. So if you would like to get a reading from me, head to my website, briarrosetarot.com, and the link for that is in my description. So thank you guys so much for watching. Now, if you need more time to decide, you can totally feel free to rewind, pause, and take as much time as you need, but we're gonna go ahead and jump into pile one. Hey Pile One, welcome to your reading. So if you guys picked this Life Purpose Oracle card, this is going to be your reading. So for your other cards, you guys got Listening, Wizard of Awareness, and Commitment. So I'm honestly loving this energy for the next month for you guys. I'm loving the energy of August for you. And what it feels like to me is, I don't know the name for it, but kind of like a victory lap. That's what the word is. So like when you win the race and you run around an extra time just to kind of show off and celebrate like how happy you are, how full of joy. Honestly, that's what it feels like to me. I feel like August is going to be a really good month for you guys. And to me, it feels like you guys have done a lot of work. I feel like you're going to be having things from your past come out of the woodwork, and possibly in a good way. Some of you guys might get a random call with like money being offered to you or something out of the blue, like a check that wasn't cashed, or contact from like a person from your past that wants to meet up again. Because I almost feel like people can see how well you're doing, people can feel this energy, and it's just going to attract more and more and more. I feel like as you guys enter into August, it's almost like you've already been through the hard part. I feel like there was some learning that was happening in July and June, and now it's like you've really found your stride, and things I feel are just going to be a lot better and easier for you this month. With the Wizard of Awareness card, I feel like a lot of you guys have been working on your forward trajectory lately. You've been working on like how you can improve things, or you maybe have been doing a lot of shadow work, and it's kind of like you found your footing. Some of you guys are going to find a new hobby this month because some of your worries are going to be cleared up. So if you've been worrying about money, or if you've been worrying about stressing out about a career thing or stressing out about something else going on in your life. As you come into August, I feel like it's almost like these things maybe start resolving themselves, and then you can focus more of your attention on things you really love or things you enjoy. I feel like it's like you're kind of finding your footing in August. You kind of have found your groove a little bit. So I do feel like this is going to be an easier month for you guys than certain other months have been for the rest of the year. Feels like this is a really, really positive change. Let's get into some tarot cards though. So we got the 10 of Cups. I'm telling you, it's a really positive month. Then we got the Justice card, the Wheel of Fortune, the Knight of Wands, and the Ace of Wands. So we're going to start out with those. But yeah, the 10 of Cups, deep emotional fulfillment. Some of you guys might be spending some time with family or friends. I feel like there's also just this sense of commitment or not commitment, that's funny that I said that, but contentment is what I mean. Happiness with where you're at in life. So even if you're not really seeing a ton of people, feels like you're at a place where you just feel super good. If you've been struggling with anxiety or depression, maybe you've learned to work through those issues. And I feel like there is a message for you guys to really live in the moment this month, to really enjoy it. It feels like this is going to be one of those months that you might look back on in the past and be like, oh my gosh, I didn't even appreciate how awesome August was. I didn't even appreciate this, the beautiful weather we had at the time, or that little trip I took with my friends, or the fact that I was traveling to see this place. And I feel like there is a message for you to really kind of pay attention and live in the moment, and also to pat yourself on the back for a lot of hard work done, because I feel like this has kind of been hard won. A lot of you guys have really kind of fought your way to this position. A lot of you guys have been, dealing with struggles or difficulties for the beginning of this year. And it's like this, to me, it feels like a breather. Like it feels like a reward month, or just like you can just chill. Kind of like how maybe you're working really hard all day in a certain class, and then the teacher, pulls in the projector and is like, oh, by the way, we're just watching movies today. Something like that. Like this is just going to be a really relaxed, chill month for you. And it really might feel like things are randomly going your way. This could be a great month for you to apply for something that you're wanting to apply for. Like if you've been wanting to, I don't know, apply for a loan or a house mortgage, or send your resume out, or do something that maybe usually you would think, oh, maybe I'm going to get rejected on this and things aren't going to work out in my favor. I feel like this month they are definitely going to work out in your favor. And I also feel like what's changing internally is more confidence with you, feeling comfortable asking, feeling comfortable putting your name out there and going for what you want, and no longer kind of being afraid or being like, oh, well, what's going to happen next? That's awful. It's almost like as this month goes really well, your confidence goes up and you start being like, yeah, why can't it be me? Why can't that happen to me? Of course, if it could happen to someone else, it can happen to me too. So I feel like some of you guys need to pay very much attention to what kind of comes up for you this month in terms of spirit putting in your heart ideas for hobbies, ideas for a business, ideas for you should try that, you should move here. Like I said, you should apply to this grant or this loan or this a new apartment that you really want, but maybe it's a little outside of your price range. But, if spirit puts this little feeling inside of you and you just feel it so strongly, you should pay attention to that above literally everything else. Of course, I would never say to make like super irresponsible financial decision, but I always think if spirit is putting something in your heart and it truly resonates with you from a place of peace and calm, and you're like, this feels right to me, then that's exactly what you should do. And I feel like you're going to be getting a lot of this guidance. What I'm seeing, they just showed me a photo of a springboard. So like, this is also another gym metaphor. I don't know why I'm seeing so much school stuff, but back in gym class, like once in a while, they would bring out this thing that's like a springboard, and you could like jump on it and it would propel you way higher. I think that's where I seen this. I don't know, but I'm seeing this so strongly in my mind. And I do feel like this month is like a springboard month for you. And by that, I mean, when you jump on the springboard, you can jump way higher than you would normally. You can jump like twice as high or something. So it's almost like the things you're doing this month, the things you're working on, I feel like they're very destined for success and they're very destined to do well. So, like I said, if you get inspired to do something, to, I don't know, put something out there on social media or write something or write a song or paint or apply for something in your career, I feel like this is absolutely the month you should do it, because it's almost like it's going to take you even further than it usually would. For some of you guys, you might be traveling this month and just enjoying and just kind of relaxing a little bit and feeling that low key vibe, that kind of easy, relaxed travel, I'm on vacation type of vibe. And for some of you guys, you also could be meeting, there is a potential for new romance and fun flirtation as well. We got the Knight of Wands and the Ace of Wands. So those are very like sexy, fun, flirty cards. And there's definitely a possibility for you guys to meet someone who kind of shakes things up for you, is fun for you to interact with. And I feel like you should definitely lean into it. You should be open if you have someone, coming around a little flirty and trying to get to know you. I do feel like there's a lot of potential here. I also feel like you guys could be approached by new friends, or you could have new social opportunities. And again, I feel like the message from Spirit is to really listen and to really take that and to really embrace it. So if you are somehow exposed to a new social group, or you randomly make a friend with a random girl at the coffee shop and she wants you to hang out and you're like, oh, I usually don't like hang out with new people, I'm just a homebody, like, no, go for it, go to the movies with her, whatever, give it a little shot. Because again, I think there's a very fruitful time for you this month. It's almost like the seeds you plant this month, I feel like they're going to grow extra far and extra big and extra strong. So there is a lot more potential for good things, really good blessings for you. I don't know if your astrology is somehow being influenced by this and you have a lot of benefics transiting for you or something like that, like Venus in the first house, Jupiter in the first house, even Sun in the first house. But I just feel like this is a really fun, easy, and relaxed time for you. And it's almost like the things you embrace at this time are going to be magnified and going to happen even more than they usually would. So I feel like Spirit is saying to make time to go have fun, to go do things that are a little bit more relaxed. It's almost like you can take the gas off the pedal, a little bit. You can take your foot off the gas a little bit. You don't have to like be going as fast, as hard as you were. But if you do feel creatively inspired, I think you really need to listen and pay attention, because I feel like your creativity is going to be so on point this month. And a lot of you guys are going to feel, you're going to be having downloads come to you about things that you should do, about projects you should embark on, about creative endeavors. And again, some of you guys really might have someone reaching out to you from your past. You might have an old friend or even family member you weren't in contact with, or even someone reaching out to give you some money. But I am seeing someone from the past kind of stepping forward to talk to you in some way, or some kind of callback to when you were younger. And I feel like this comes as a surprise. It's not necessarily someone you were expecting to hear from, or someone that you were really even wanting to hear from, or that was at the forefront of your mind. But I do feel like it's a nice surprise. It's nice to even know, even if you're like, oh, I don't want to talk to them, but you're like, oh, it's nice to know they were thinking of me though. But the other two cards we got for your tarot, I didn't want to overwhelm you, but you got the Sun and the Four of Swords. So honestly, there's just so much positivity. I was like, oh my God, I don't know if I've ever seen such a positive spread for you guys. You also could be finding out about a legal issue working out in your favor, or some kind of legal issue winding to a close this month. So if you guys have had something legally hanging over your head, or something that has given you a lot of stress and tension, then I do feel like that will resolve favorably, or at least at the very end, you'll know it won't be like this uncertainty anymore. And there is that message, of course, that with all this positivity, that your feelings, your energy towards this are really influencing how the outcome could turn out. So to stay really positive up until you get some news about the situation, and knowing that the more positive energy you can feel, the more positive energy you put out, the more you're influencing that situation to work out in your favor. I also feel like if you guys have been been very confused about how to proceed about something in the future, again, you're going to be getting that clarity. You're going to be understanding how you're supposed to proceed. And it's almost like you're going to see this whole plan unfurl in front of you of like, okay, so that's where I need to head next. That's where I need to go. That's what I need to do. And what I love about this is I feel like it's just something maybe you guys have been stressing on so much lately, or you were stressing on in the past, something that maybe you were turning over and over in your mind about like, how am I going to approach this? What am I going to do? And there's, I feel either clarity you guys have gotten recently, or you might get it this month, but it's almost like, okay, now I just know what to do. Now I know where to head, and I don't have to be in this stressed out energy. I don't have to be going over and over it in my mind. And then I feel like once you guys release and kind of take it easy, it's like the situation just kind of winds to a close on its own. So you don't even have to do that much. It's just going to kind of like fall into place. And it's just going to be, I think, something you're going to be really happy about. So definitely an emphasis on resting, renewal this month, chilling, and also being very spiritually aware, especially when we have time to vacation, especially if we're going out in nature, or if we have, a few hours at the resort where we can lay on the bed and just chill. I would really encourage you guys in pile 1 to fully embrace that and to take that time to get some spiritual downloads. So maybe, meditate during that time. Maybe if you're out in nature, that's such a great time to really listen to spirit. We can feel spirit so closely around us when we're in nature. So maybe if you're out at like, the middle of I don't know, the desert or by the beach or wherever, and you're in the woods, wherever you are, really take a few moments to try to listen, quiet your mind, see what spirit has to say to you, try to kind of perk up your little antenna and pay attention to the downloads you're getting, because again, I feel like you're so receptive this month, and it's really like you found your groove. So let's get into some of these cards for pile number 1. Okay, we got the World, and I'm reading all these uprights. The Sun again. Wow. So there's a heavy emphasis on that Sun energy. So let's talk about it. So the Sun, you could literally be spending time in the sun. I mean, it is August, but also the Sun, like I've been saying, highly creative energy. So is the Ace of Wands. The Ace of Wands is that burst of insight, that flash of a new idea that suddenly comes to us out of nowhere, fully formed. It's such a spiritual card, the Ace of Wands. It's that idea that suddenly we're like, I have to do it. And that's why the Magician is literally in his card. So the Master Manifestor, the Magician card, the symbol of manifestation, he's literally holding his wand up to the heavens. And that's how he's able to bring down the idea into the physical, because that's where it comes. The best manifestations kind of come from spirit. It's like a little flash of insight from our spirit guides about, you could do this, you could accomplish this, that would be a really good idea. We've all had those experiences, right? Where like you're driving down the road, you're not sure about, maybe where you're going to eat later, and maybe you'll go to the local place nearby, and then suddenly you pass by like a restaurant or something, and you're just like, I have to go in there. I just know I have to. And you go in, and it's like the most amazing meal ever. Or you wake up in the morning and you just have like a story idea in your head, and you're like, I really want to write this down. I really want to do something with that. I mean, I think J.K. Rowling said that's how the idea of Harry Potter came to her, just fully formed in her mind. And she just had to write it down so intensely that she started scribbling it on a cocktail napkin, right? So that's kind of that Ace of Wands energy. And with the Sun coming through twice, you guys are going to be super, super creative this month, and super, super open to downloads, because it doesn't just have to be about creativity. Wands are very highly creative, but Wands energy is just any kind of endeavor, any kind of effort, any kind of like, I don't know how to describe it. Decision to start something, desire to make some kind of a change. It's kind of like that sudden jolt of inspiration or focus or energy that we have towards something that makes us want to like rock climb, or makes us want to go ask out the person we have a crush on, or makes us want to, like I said, do another sprint around the running track. Like it's that energy. And I feel like you guys are going to be really enlivened if you've been doing something creative and there's been a creative block for you, or like a writer's block, or just feeling like you don't have any inspiration. That might be moving and shifting, and you might find suddenly you absolutely love doing the work you're doing, and you have so much energy for it. It might even be more physical energy in general. You might find that like you just feel really well rested all the time, and you suddenly want to pick up like a exercise routine, and you want to start going for morning jogs, or you want to start going to like Pilates every day or something like that. But you might just have a lot more energy overall and a lot more of that invigorated sun energy, because sun is the source of all life on the universe, so it's literally that energy that's always burning super strong. So yeah, I think you guys, and people I think are really going to be drawn to your radiance, because people are attracted to sun energies. People, that's why Leo has so much charisma and it can be a fame indicator and show someone who's just very popular within their personal life. It's a royalty indicator, and that's because people are drawn to that glow of the sun energy. They're drawn to that light inside someone. So again, I feel like there's a lot of potential for you guys to meet people, for you guys to make new connections. You might have people coming up to you out of the woodwork. You might find that, you're just walking down the street and someone's like, "Hey, I love your dress." And you're like, "Oh, thanks." And then you get in a conversation, and then, next thing you know, they're inviting you to hang out. But it might be one of those months with weird serendipity where it just seems like you're just aligned with the right people, and people are just really liking whatever it is you're putting out, and you're shining with that beautiful, bright energy. Let's get into some more cards. For pile number 1, what is this? Caring connections. Okay, so we got the commitment card and the caring connections card, and also that Knight of Wands. There's definitely that potential, like I've been saying, to make new friendships and also to make romantic relationships. I do feel like some of you guys in this pile, you've been working hard on maybe bad relationship habits you've had, bad patterns in relationships. Maybe in the past, there were times when you kind of tolerated bad behavior, or you had bad patterns for yourself. Like maybe you would tend to, be avoidant attachment style, or what is the other one? Like anxious attachment style, or you would come on too strong, or you would be too avoidant and not come on strong at all. But I feel like some of you guys have really worked those out, and if you're in a relationship, it's going to be flourishing this month. This would be an excellent month for like romance, taking a romantic getaway, going to a little bed and breakfast somewhere in the woods or something, wherever. But something nice and romantic would be something you should definitely do this month if you are in a relationship. And if you're single, there's an excellent chance and odds for you guys to meet someone that would be special to you. So if you are single and you're wanting to meet people, again, like the world is your oyster this month. I feel like you're shining so brightly. So make sure to like put on a little makeup, get dressed up, go out to the local bar or restaurant or whatever, post up at the bar, get a little drink or whatever you want to drink. Of course, if you want to order something non-alcoholic, that's totally fine. But get something and kind of like put yourself out there. Let those opportunities start flowing. Or, of course, always being safe, but maybe put yourself out there on online dating. And if someone cute asks you out, don't be like, "Well, I guess I don't know, it's not going to work out," and just go and take that risk. Because again, I feel like it's like you have so much luck on your side this month. So many things are going your way. So many things are so positive. I mean, look at all these cards we got. Like, is there even a single negative card? No, everything is positive on all the pulls. That like never happens, right? There's always usually some little nasty card that has to pop up. You guys honestly have things just, it's like I'm hearing coming up roses. And I just heard that line. I don't even know what song this is, but it keeps playing in my mind that it's like, "I think that I'll go for a walk outside now. The sunny side's calling my name. Hey, I hear you now." I don't even know. I think that's like a song from the 70s or something, but I feel like everything is just sunny, bright, and beautiful. And Spirit is also mentioning to make sure you take time to go out in nature this month. I feel like the nature around you at this month is going to be extra, extra beautiful. And I feel like you really need to take the time and the opportunity to drink it in, to enjoy it. I always think, and the Wheel of Fortune card really talks about this, that life is ever shifting and ever changing. And so, the thing about that is there's positivity to that, and there's of course a little negativity. So that means when things are going good, that they're going good and that's awesome. But when things are going bad, eventually that wheel will shift and things will become positive again, and vice versa. Time is fleeting, and sometimes we think a certain situation or a good moment is going to last forever, when the reality is that things change. And not to be depressing, but we'll never be in exactly this moment in our life ever again. And it's really special, and we really need to drink in every moment, and not in a fear-based way. Sometimes things get so much better, and things just improve, and every year gets even sweeter and nicer. But we're never going to be right here in this moment that we are right now, and we need to really take the time to appreciate, to enjoy, to take it in, to make those memories, to use every moment and to seize every moment, and to like go out when it's sunny, because it's going to be winter soon. So when the sun is out and the birds are chirping and the sky is just so beautiful with little puffy clouds drifting across it, go outside and enjoy it. Don't be holed up inside and just be like, well, I can go out tomorrow. So I feel like you really need to make the most of this month, pile one, because this is going to be a month to remember. And you guys might have something really exciting for you happen this month. Some of you guys might meet like the love of your life, and you might look back at this month and be like, oh my gosh, August, that was such an amazing time. Or you might, start a creative project that is super fruitful for you, or launch a YouTube channel, or launch a TikTok or something, and then look back and be like, oh my God, that was the month. That was the month. Because honestly, in astrology, we tend to map like when is a good time for you to do something, when is a bad time for you to do something. So when's a good time to launch a business, when's a bad time to launch a business. You don't really want to launch a business during like Mercury retrograde or something like that. But the thing is, this seems like a beautiful, benefic time for you. It feels like everything is conspiring in your favor at this time. So actually, I want to pull some message cards for you guys. So I'm going to pull them from this deck for messages for pile number one. What does this say? Gratitude is the life force of peace. What are you thankful for? And I love that for you guys, because that's kind of what I was just saying, is like, don't take this time for granted. The more you can extend this energy for this month by just really breathing it in, bathing in it, basking in it, not kind of fast forwarding. I think it's so easy in life to get frustrated with so many small things and be like, oh my gosh, the guy at the store, he was like freaking rude to me. Gosh, like that was just so annoying. And I can't believe he, acted like that towards me. And spiraling out about something like that when we're in like the most beautiful place, or we're being blessed so much, and so it's really important. Like it's kind of like that show, The White Lotus, how they're on these beautiful vacations, but they always get upset about like small things, and they're always beefing and arguing and getting mad, and the hotel staff's always like also got their own drama. And it's like, if they just all took a moment to pause, to breathe in, to be like, wow, I'm so lucky to be in Italy, or I'm so lucky to be in Hawaii, then maybe they would have a better mindset. So we can really extend the energy that we're in like this beautiful month for you guys. We can extend this energy by focusing on the positive and really breathing in every moment. It's kind of like, you can magnify or you can multiply the blessings by focusing our intention solely on those blessings, and really like drinking it in with our heart, and really embracing it and rejoicing in it, not just kind of, oh, okay, that was nice, that was cool, okay, on to the next. You know what I mean? Because the more energy, the more we can get into that positive energy, the more we can celebrate the good, the more good will happen to us. Let's get some more cards for pile one for the month of August. Rise above, it's not yours to carry. You are an empath. How can you detach from the drama? Everyone else on their own journey. How can you focus more on your own path? And I do feel like this month you're kind of also letting go of some connections you've had to others. I feel like you're kind of letting go, like I said, of different traumas or relationship patterns and stuff that didn't really serve you. You might even be like blocking or muting people on social media, or just not really putting your energy into it as much. I feel like this month, pile one, you guys have realized how valuable your own energy is, how special and precious it is. So I don't feel like you guys are going to spend as much time letting other people take your energy away from you, letting other people stress you out or get under your skin or get you upset. You're just kind of like vibrating at such a high level this month that I feel like it's like nothing can really bring you down. So yeah, I love this energy for you, Pawan. I'm so excited for you guys. It sounds like the best month ever. It seriously sounds like an amazing time for you. So I'm so excited. Let me know how it resonated for you in the comments. I always love hearing from you guys, hearing your thoughts and observations. So let me know what you think. Also, make sure to give this reading a thumbs up, hit the like button if it did resonate, and make sure to subscribe and turn those notifications on. Hit the little bell so you can find out as soon as I post next. And if you guys want to see more of my content, then be sure to head to my Patreon where I post all my additional readings. I just posted one all about where you should relocate to, so where you should move to, where you should travel to next, or what kind of location will fit your energy the best. And before that, I posted one all about what makes you sexy. So that's a kind of fun, spicy one. And yeah, there's a lot of content over there though, almost 60 different readings. So there's so much content to go through, whether you want to love reading, career reading, money reading, family, friends, future life, past life. There are so many different topics to choose from. So I would love to have you join us over there on Patreon, and I hope to see you guys there. The link for that is underneath the timestamps and the comments in the description. And if you guys want to get a private one-on-one reading with me, then you can get that at my website, briarrosetarot.com, and you can sign up for a half hour or a full hour-long session with me, have me pull tarot for you, read your astrology, channel mediumship, or intuitively. You can ask me about love, career, your ahead reading. You can just do an energy check-in. You can really ask me whatever you want within reason. So if you'd like to do a reading with me, head to my website, briarrosetarot.com. Thank you guys so much for watching. I am sending you so much love and light, and I'll be back very soon again for another reading. So take care, guys, and I'll see you soon. Bye. Hey Pile 2, welcome to your reading. So you guys picked the New Beginnings card, and to start off the reading, we're going to start with some oracle cards, and you guys got Magical Map Shifter, Peaks of Joy, and Education. So whenever we see the Magical Map Shifter card, it is a reminder that we have the potential to change situations at any time. We can change our energy, and then we can change the situation. So I do feel like August is a little bit of a learning month for you guys. There are lessons that you guys are kind of taking on, and on the other side of that, there's a really beautiful breakthrough in terms of knowledge, self, personal development. It feels like a lot of you guys are growing and kind of realizing your own power this month. You're realizing how much of a say you have and how things turn out, the outcome of things, and kind of the responsibility of that. I actually feel like there's a message leading off the reading about how many people really look up to you and respect you, and how you really set the tone for a lot of different situations. So kind of sometimes when we can reflect on our own energy, I totally blanked on that word, reflect on our own energy, and we can kind of think about how our energy is getting put out there, how our energy is being received by others, what our intentions are. And sometimes we can actually get into like a bit of a negative energy, or just not the right energy for us, that's unintentionally negative. And then we can realize that by shifting something or changing something up, we can have a more positive outcome. So I kind of want to get right into the tarot, because I feel like I'm probably speaking very esoterically right now, and you guys are probably like, what is she even saying with regard to these cards? But I already pulled your tarot, so let's get into them. So we got the Hanged Man, the Five of Wands, the Star card, the Knight of Swords, Queen of Cups, and the Temperance card. So I really wanted to get to this message because I was just coming through really strong. There's a really interesting journey we have from the Hanged Man, the Five of Wands, the Star, all the way over to Temperance. And I feel like there's almost a message that there's some situation that you guys have really been wanting to change or switch up, or maybe has been frustrating you. Maybe it has been dragging on, or you've wanted something to resolve, or there's a situation with someone in your life where there's tension, conflict. The Five of Wands can definitely speak to that. Or even situations at work, like any situation that's unfulfilling, or that you're just like, I wish this would change. And there's kind of this energy of like, I wish it would change. I wish it would change. I wish it would change. When is it going to change? Blah, blah, blah. You might have even come into the reading with that, like one thing in mind, on your mind, when you saw an update and being like, oh, I hope she talks about this, and I hope she says it's over this month. You know what I mean? For some of you guys. And I do feel like there's a message kind of like that the more you hold on to it, the more negative the situation is, or the more more it will persist. And I know that's not really a fun message. No one wants to hear that, especially when you're like, oh my God, this is out of my control. I'm not doing anything for this. This is happening to me. Like, I didn't cause this. And I totally believe you. Like, I'm not, sometimes situations do happen to us. But the amazing thing is realizing our own power and our ability to end that situation, to transmute it, and even to expect that no matter how negative it may seem, it will turn into a positive. If only I could tell you guys about all these different situations I've had where I'm like, there's no way this could work out as a positive. This is literally the worst thing that ever happened to me. And then somehow cut to a month later and I'm like, oh my God, that had to happen for this domino to happen, and then that domino, and now this is a positive, let alone cut to the road like 6 months down the road. Like, it's crazy how you can realize that something that you really thought was the worst thing ever was actually preparing you for something so good. And so I feel like there's a message some of you guys need to hear, that like resisting this situation and being really negative about it or being really upset about whatever this is can actually drag on this energy and actually can prolong it, especially if it's, dealing with other humans can be tricky. And even though maybe not everyone is a professional tarot reader, a lot of people are psychic and they can read the energy of others. And it's almost like, the energy of like when you really know someone wants you to do something and it can kind of make you not want to do it, or when someone's bringing in such a like weird energy to something that it just turns you off. Like if you've ever been asked out by a guy and he's been like super awkward about it and weird and like super intense, and even if you thought he was cute at first, it's almost like, oh God, like, oh my gosh, this guy's being just odd, and like the energy becomes so repulsive that you end up saying no, even if you were into him at first, but just the way he comes up and asks you is just kind of creepy, and you're just like, oh no, I can't do this. And I'm not saying you guys are creepy or anything like that, but sometimes it's like the more we want a situation to end, the more we're so fixated on it has to be this outcome, this has to happen, the more kind of someone might know they have leverage over you. They might want to drag it out. They might engage in like a low vibrational power struggle for themselves. Like I think something went viral and I thought this was so stupid. Like, I don't know, maybe a year ago on Twitter or something, but some guy said that he was like finishing up his brunch and these two girls came up to him at the table and they were like, oh, by the way, like how much longer are you going to be here? And he was like, oh, I don't know, I'm just finishing up or something. And they were like, oh, well, we want this table, so can you hurry up? And he said, well, so I guess I know where I'm going to be for the rest of the day then. I'm never leaving this table, which is so immature. I kind of hate that like that went viral and all these people were retweeting it and being like, heck yeah, like stay at that table forever. Because I'm like, it's just amazing how petty and immature us humans can be. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, why? Why do we feel the need to be like vindictive and rude to someone for literally no reason? Who knows? But anyway, my point is that that's a very human reaction, and it is low vibrational and it is immature and it is kind of that human side that's just petty and dumb. But a lot of people are like that, you know what I mean? And we're dealing in a human world. We live in a human world. So we're going to be dealing with a lot of people like that, where maybe you are completely in the right and maybe you are completely in the wrong. But the more you want that outcome, the more you feel like you're rushing this, the more maybe that person is going to react in like a low vibrational, immature way and push against you. And sometimes the best thing you can do if you want that thing is to completely take your mind off it, is to completely remove yourself from the situation and try to find a way to enjoy it. So whatever this situation is that's causing you stress, tension, pain, whatever this situation is that you're like, oh my gosh, I really want this to change, I really, really want this to change, then that's going to be a situation that gets dragged out almost inevitably, like whenever you have something in your mind that you're like, oh, I just really, really want that. It's almost like this little carrot that gets dangled on a string that you can never reach. And the more you release and accept that things take time and that everything is happening in its divine timing and everything will happen in a way that's right for you. And that all those things are, we don't even need to be tied to human timelines. Like, it's funny because I'm just reading this Dolores Cannon book about her past life regressions that she did with other people. And she said it's very hard to get dates and timelines because on the other side, time doesn't matter. And so even when she'll ask the people like, what year are you, or what dates and names and stuff, they don't know them because they really don't matter on the other side. I've found that to be true even in private readings sometimes. If someone wants a very specific timeline, unless spirit is like, oh, let me give you this, it's kind of hard to say because most of the time our spirit guides they don't really care. To them, all that matters is that the energy happens. They don't really care. They trust that like that process is going to happen on the right schedule. And I know that's hard to hear when you feel stuck or when you feel trapped in something. And it's not to say if something is like harmful for you, just accept it and just, oh well. But I do think that it's almost like the more you guys might be trying to resist this situation, push against it, or, you know, have all this negative feeling about it, the more you might be energetically contributing to a negative situation. And the more you can go into like this very positive Queen of Cups energy, star energy, where you trust the process, you trust that after the Tower card is the Star card, the better the outcome will be and the happier you guys are going to be with what happens. And maybe you can treat this situation, if it is negative for the time being, as like, I'm learning a lesson, I'm going through something, I'm undergoing a little bit of a cocoon period, just like when a caterpillar turns into a butterfly. That's what I'm doing right now. And maybe this situation isn't perfect. Maybe I'm not exactly where I want to be right now. Maybe I feel frustrated, but maybe this is literally happening as the best possible outcome for me. Maybe this is the timeline that my guides, angels, and ancestors have specifically picked to benefit me for my best and highest good. And maybe I don't have access to that information. And as a human looking at things, I don't understand the timeline. I don't know why it has to take longer, but that's what my guides, angels, and ancestors say, then that's the timeline for me, you know? And I feel like the more you relax, the more you kind of accept. I mean, haven't we all had that situation happen where like you're going, like your computer's not working or something and it's driving you freaking up a wall, and maybe you're trying to save a file or it just being slow and you're so annoyed with it. You're at the end of your rope and then something happens and maybe you're like, you know what? I don't even have time for this computer. Screw it. I'm putting this on the side. I don't even care anymore. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to go on my phone, or I'm going to go read a book, or I'm going to go run outside. And you know what? I'm not even dealing with this anymore. And almost inevitably, right? That's when the computer will start acting right. Like always. Whenever we're just like, screw it. Okay, fine. This is what it's going to be. That's when things seem to suddenly start resolving in our favor. It's also bringing to mind that quote, a watched pot never boils. So that's, you know, I guess cooking wisdom, that like the more you stare at the pot, the more you're fixated on when is it going to boil? This is taking so long. Oh, I just want to cook this pasta. The longer it's going to take. And the more you can release it and just kind of chill and accept that that's part of the process, the better it's going to turn out. I know for me, I love to cook. I'm a Cancer moon. I think like all Cancer moons probably love to cook. So I would always, you know, cook things, but there's certain things that I'm very impatient about. I'm more of a cook than a baker because I honestly hate like waiting 40 minutes. It's just like, I always am like, let's get it done now. And so there were certain things that I would cook and I would always rush them, like pancakes. Like I would just, you know, try to kind of cook the pancakes in a much shorter time. I mean, pancakes take so long. It's crazy to me. But they would never turn out right. They would never turn out like those big fluffy pancakes because you kind of need that time. You need the time for like, I don't know, the baking soda to start working and the air bubbles to pop up. I don't really understand the chemistry of it, but I know you need more time. And I know every time I've tried to rush them, they don't quite turn out the same. So my point is that it took me a long time to be like more mature about it and be like, okay, well, let me make this earlier then. Let me kind of chill. Maybe I'll make myself an egg or something and eat it in the meantime if I'm really, really hungry and I can't wait for these pancakes to finish cooking. But I don't need to, you know, I'm not going to like ruin these pancakes just because I'm in such a rush. And I just feel like for you guys, whatever this situation is, whatever this sense of tension or it's not going to work out or pessimism or negativity or allowing yourself to engage with any kind of negativity or pessimistic thoughts, or this isn't going to work out. Honestly, I feel like you really need to trust that this is working out literally perfectly. It couldn't have been scripted better. And I've mentioned this before in other readings, but it's like, I've gotten so much like content from my habit of reading Goodreads reviews. I never knew it was going to come in handy in future, a future YouTube channel. But I'm telling you, I get so much of a kick out of reading Goodreads reviews for multiple reasons. One being is when people complain about like the plot of the book and they'll always be like, it was so negative. I couldn't believe that I couldn't believe that the main couple got separated and he was dating someone else. It was horrible. It's like, well, what did you expect? Like, it's a book. What do you want it to be the whole time? Like, oh, they met, awesome date, first date goes great.
he asks if they can be exclusive. She says yes, then they get engaged 6 months later, then they get married, have a kid. No one wants to read a book like that because it'd be boring. No one would want to read that. There's no book that I have seen on Goodreads, and I read a lot of synopsises, that has that as a plot. Okay, I've never seen a TV show of that either. I've never seen a movie that's just like, watch everyone have an awesome life and nothing goes wrong and just everything's awesome, because no one cares. No one would even be wanting to watch that for a millisecond. What we love movies like The Notebook, where they're separated for 10 full years. That's a long time to wait, right? Or like Titanic. Well, okay, that one has kind of a more sad ending. So that's not a great example. But you know, there's lots of movies, like action movies, whatever, where things have to go really bad. Things have to go wrong. And then we value that even more. And I do believe with Titanic, like they're clearly reunited on the other side. That's the whole point of the ending, right? Oops, sorry. Didn't mean to spoil that if anyone didn't see Titanic. But anyway, sorry. But my point is that you gotta have some tension. You gotta have some kind of part of the story, some kind of negativity. And if you guys could think of whatever you're going through now, I mentioned this before, as part of the plot, as part of the story, as part of some kind of like, it's almost like when, you know, when stuff starts going wrong in a book, like the two main love interests that the romantic novel was written about start fighting and arguing, or they just don't stop talking or something. You don't think like, oh my God, things have gone completely off the rail. This writer doesn't even know what they're doing. No one's in charge. This is like awful that they're just fighting, and this is gonna be how it's always gonna be. You trust that the writer, that the author is in charge, that they're writing this for a reason, that it's a plot device, and pretty much if it's like a romantic story, you know they're gonna end up together in the end, so you trust that process. And if you could take that mindset to your own life and know that your guides, angels, and ancestors are the ones writing this story for you, and they've designed it for you, they've written out every plot point, they have, you know, put you on this path for a reason to tell an amazing story for you. That's really what the star card is about, in my opinion. You know, it's about that moment where you've been through the tower, you've seen it all fall down, and now you're just fully trusting spirit, and you're following that star, even if it seems a million miles away. You know you're going to get there eventually. So with the Temperance card, it could show with the Hanged Man that, like, yeah, there's a situation right now that doesn't have the outcome or the certainty that you want, but I do feel like it is going to end up in a good way. And I do feel like you guys need to change your mindset to be a little bit more positive about it, not allowing yourself to get to a negative place, not allowing yourself to possibly be wound into conflict with this Five of Wands, or to get, you know, I think with the Five of Wands is kind of like pointless conflict. It's almost like people who are fighting, they don't even know they're fighting. Like I said, it's that guy sitting in the cafe and the two random girls come up to him and say, oh, can we have this table? And sure, maybe they're a little, you know, rude, or said it in a way that like they could have worded it more nicely or been more socially savvy about it. But this man, who presumably was having a nice day and eating his French toast or whatever, and now he's going to sit at this table, cause conflict, feel the negative energy exuding off the two young girls, and start a fight for no reason. I'm sure it's very unconscious. I'm sure it's not something he like consciously set out at the beginning of the day thinking, this is how I want to spend my day. Sitting at a cafe with no food in front of me for an extra hour doing nothing, just to annoy someone. Like, think about how low vibrational it is, and think about how many people retweeted it too. That's the scary thing, is so many people are like that in this world. And so my point is that it's really important for us to kind of question, how are we spending our energy? If someone's rude to us, are we going to get involved in a little spiral with them, even if we don't fight or directly argue with them? For the rest of the day, we're going to be thinking, I can't believe that guy at the grocery store said that to me. I should have said back this. You know, honestly, he is the one who, like, he was the one who bumped into me, and I didn't really do anything. And honestly, it was really rude of him. Like, of course, it's inevitable. Sometimes we're going to get sucked into some kind of negative thinking like that. But for the most part, if we can learn to nip it in the bud and be like, this person is not worth my time. This person is not worth my energy. I'm going to focus on the positive and not allow ourselves to get sucked into, like I said, this needless conflict that we constantly are being tested with, especially now, I think, in this modern era, then the happier and better the outcome can be. If we can focus on being this Queen of Cups and focus on always being in our emotional power and always focusing on the positive and the things that make us feel good and the things that bring us emotional fulfillment, then we can literally change the outcome. So let me get some more cards for pile number um, 2. We got 6 chakra Archangel Metatron, and so he has the third eye chakra activated. So yeah, I think that this is, it shows when we go into the higher chakras, it's so easy to live in the lower chakras, the base chakras, the chakras that have to deal with safety. And I think honestly, when someone gets easily triggered, like that guy who, got so mad just because they asked if they could have the table next or whatever, that's kind of like from a scarcity mindset, right? Like you have to think, what was that guy thinking in the moment? Maybe his lower chakras were activated from a sense of panic. Maybe he felt overlooked. Maybe he felt like, I always get disrespected by people. Maybe he felt like, these girls would be mean to me, or no one ever pays attention to me. And maybe that's stuff that happened in childhood. You know what I mean? Maybe that sense of being kind of like overlooked and not paid attention to and not given respect. Those are like lower chakra things. Those are those kind of feelings of lack, feelings on the human plane, And if we can move our consciousness up into the higher plane, if we can move it into the third eye and kind of like resonate on a soul level and on a astral plane level, and pay attention to those things, then we're not going to let the small stuff bother us. I mean, I can see why it would be annoying if someone comes up to you while you're eating and says, can you move? Like I'd be like a little annoyed too, but I probably wouldn't camp out there for the next 3 hours like he said he was going to do it for the rest of the day. You know what I mean? And my point is that if we can just kind of brush those things off and almost give someone the benefit of the doubt too, like, well, maybe they were in a rush, maybe they have bad social skills, maybe they have, maybe they're not super charming, and that's going to cause them trouble later in life. Maybe they are in a rush because they're going to see their little brother graduate from high school, and they're kind of not thinking super straight about the best way to approach things. Maybe they're just having a really fun day and they're kind of like not stressing a lot, and so they're being really blunt, and who cares? Let me give them the benefit of the doubt and maybe even turn it into a positive opportunity. Maybe even tell them like, no, you know what, you can sit down with me. Yeah, what's your name? I'm blah blah blah. Oh, it's really nice to meet you. I love your dress. And turn it into something positive. You know what I mean? There's so many different ways to take that. And we are the ones who have the control and the power to take what could be a negative situation and transmute it into something so beautiful, so happy, so joyful, and so positive. We have the opportunity to take what could have been a jarring, negative, sad experience and see what can I glean that's positive out of this. So I feel like this is your message for the month of August. Coming into August is like, if there's been, look how many angels you have around you. This is crazy. Second chakra, Archangel Ariel. Wow. And then we have door to spirit. So yeah, that's like a lower chakra, that it's kind of down where we contain feelings of safety and feelings of well-being, and when those get disrupted, that's when we can really find ourselves acting out. But look how many angels you have surrounding you. So if there's a situation that you guys have just been stressing about and wanting to change and wondering when it's going to end, I feel like you need to know your guides and angels are around you so much this month. And it might be that the situation has to drag on a little bit longer, right? It might be that, oh my gosh, but we got the victory card. I love that to end the reading. So it is going to have a positive outcome, even if it's not in August, but it's almost like the more we can fixate, the more we can focus, the more we're angry about something, or we're waiting for it, or we're stressing, and our mind keeps turning it over and over and over and over in our mind, the more other people will stall on it, or the more negativity will come out of it, even if they don't know they're doing it consciously. I bet what happened with that energetic exchange, those girls were probably full of nervous energy. They probably came up to him kind of like stressed out already, being like, can we have that table? Weren't thinking, if they were super chill, they probably would have been like, hey, by the way, no rush, by the way, but is it possible, we don't mind waiting, but could maybe as soon as you're done, is there any way we could sneak over to this table? Like, take as much time as you want. And he probably would have been like, oh yeah, that's fine. But because they were so stressed, they were so agitated, he probably felt that negative energy, absorbed it. Then he got in a bad mood. Then he was mad. You know what I mean? And that's like how energy transfers. And we have to be so conscious of that. So the more positive we can be with any situation, the more people are going to feel that positive energy coming from us. And the better and faster and more beautiful the outcome can be for for us. And you guys will have victory with whatever this is, whether it's this month or later. But I think that it's like, why not also enjoy in the meantime? Relax, have a good life, and stay really positive no matter what this situation is. Let's get some message cards to end the reading. What? Those were, I don't want to use that many. Let's get one message card for pile number 2. This one says, you cannot make a mistake. There are infinite possibilities available to you. I love that for you guys. Exactly. Nothing that's happening to you is a mistake. Nothing that's happening to you is out of control. Like I said, if you're reading or watching a Superman movie and you see like the city get destroyed at the beginning, you don't think like, oh my God, this is horrible. This is literally completely out of control. The whole city's destroyed and now the whole town's going to be destroyed and then the whole country. And you know that like the director is in charge, the writers are in charge. All of this has been written out. The whole plot has been pre-written. It's not happening randomly. It's not out of control. And the same thing is happening in your life. There are your guides, your angels, your ancestors advocating for you on the other side. You guys have so many angels around you, and it's not a mistake. It's happening for your greatest and highest good. Let's get some more messages for pile number 2. This one says, prioritize self-love and care. When do you feel most nurtured and cared for? And let's get one more. You can radically change your results by shifting your beliefs. What belief is limiting you? And that's exactly what I've been saying. We control the outcome with our thoughts and our feelings and our vibe and our energy. And the more we can shift into an outcome of positivity, of expecting the best, of welcoming in the goodness that we know we deserve, that we know is our birthright and is coming our way, the more that will happen for us. And also treating ourselves kindly in the meantime, not because it is kind of like a form of self-harm when we allow our mind to run off a million miles an hour to all the negative. We start thinking of all the worst case scenarios. We start thinking of, oh my gosh, this is going to happen next. And oh my God, I can't believe that's going to happen. And then this, and that is like self-harm, it puts us into such a negative mindset. So if we can get into a habit of stopping those thoughts when they come in and we start thinking, well then, and what if that happens? And then that's going to go wrong. And then it'll all be okay. I love that quote. Everything's going to be okay in the end. And if it's not okay, it's not the end. So how can we soothe ourselves? How can we make ourselves feel happy? How can we shift our mindset to something that makes us feel good, positive? Even if that's watching a stupid little movie on, Netflix, or even if it's, going for a little walk around the block, or going to walk over to like the local pastry shop or something and buying something cute and sweet to eat. Whatever we can do to make ourselves feel really positive, good, like the treasures, the special little angels we are, that's what we should be doing. And that's how we kind of can take care of ourselves whenever we're in this period of uncertainty, where maybe we know what we're manifesting. We know that there's a blessing coming. We haven't seen it yet. We know it's being delayed. There's some situation that's up in the air and uncertain, but that doesn't mean we have to be in a negative place in the meantime. So how can you look after yourself? How can you look after your emotional center? I think that's what Spirit is really calling on you to do this August. So anyways, I really hope that helped pile too. I really had to channel that one. It was coming through so strong. So I hope it resonated with you. I hope you got some lessons or some insight out of it. Let me know if you did in the comments. I always love hearing from you guys. Also, make sure to give this reading a thumbs up, hit the like button if it did resonate with you, and make sure to subscribe, turn those notifications on, hit that little bell so you can find out as soon as I post. And if you guys want to see more of my readings, then head to my Patreon where I post all my additional readings. I just posted one all about where you should relocate to. So what area, location would fit your energy the best, whether it's for traveling or moving to or living out of. What kind of area would fit your vibe and be the best for you. And then before that, I posted one all about what makes you sexy. So that's kind of a fun and juicy one. So as soon as you sign up for my Patreon though, you will get access to all my additional readings. So almost 60 additional readings about love, spirituality, career, family, friends, future life, past life, so many different topics to choose from. So if you would like to check that out, head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments and the description, and I would love to see you there. And if you guys want to get a private one-on-one reading with me, you can also get that at my website, briarrosetarot.com, and you can sign up for a half hour or a full hour-long session with me, have me pull tarot for you, read your astrology, channel mediumship or intuitively for you. You can do a year ahead reading, a love reading, reading, a career reading, just a little energy check-in, pop the hood and see what's going on in your life. You can ask me whatever you want, basically within reason. So if you would like to get a reading from me, head to my website, briarrosetarot.com. Thank you guys so much for watching. I am sending you so much love and light, and I'll be back very soon again for another reading. So take care, guys, and I'll see you soon. Bye. Hey, pile three. So you guys picked the forgiveness card, and for your other oracle cards, you guys got balancing act, compass, and wishing well. So you guys are going to be having a busy August. You might feel like you have a very booked social calendar or work calendar, and there may be a lot on your plate in the month of August. There may be a little bit of a balancing act with kind of figuring out your obligations, what you have to do, what you want to do. And it may be something where you kind of need to schedule in a break or a little bit of a rest or relaxation. There is a message here that you get to choose what you spend your energy on. So if something is like repeatedly taking energy away from you, to pay attention to that and to clear out some of those people, places, things in your life that may be taking your energy out in a negative way, because sometimes we can end up getting sucked into like obligations, schedules that maybe we aren't even really a fan of or aren't really serving us or our goals, and we end up just kind of doing that by second nature or like routine, just like, oh well, I have to wake up early at 5 a.m. and walk my dogs and then go work out. And it's like, maybe you would be better served by sleeping in an extra half hour and walking your dog at 6. Maybe that's something you could do. Or maybe you don't have to stay up late if you're not really spending that time productively. So of course, take what resonates and leave the rest, and use what is coming to mind for you. But there is a message that possibly some things in your schedule may need to be tweaked, or even if you're going on vacation, maybe to really enjoy the moment and not to feel like you have to stack your schedule with like, okay, we got to wake up early and we got to go here and we got to see this tourist location. I always think it's so funny whenever I'm traveling with someone and they always want to see, like, I get it, they want to see all the touristy stuff, but I'm so not that kind of traveler. I will always like meander around, and my friends know, like, if they're going on a trip with me, all I want to do is like eat at nice restaurants and chill, walk around. I hate having to go to like, oh, we got to tick off this. Of course, everyone's travel routine is different, and of course, if you like doing that stuff, absolutely do it. But I just think maybe there's a way to do it so like you're not overburdening yourself, stressing yourself out, exhausting yourself, because what's the point in going to see like the Mona Lisa if you had to wake up at 4 a.m. and you're super tired and jet lagged and you can barely notice it. So my point is maybe there's things you can do to kind of tweak things or give yourself a little bit of a break, a little bit of an easier time of it. And also just being mindful with our energy. With this compass card, it's kind of like we got to make sure we're always heading in the right direction, because one of the most destructive parts of this kind of like second nature energy I think we get into, where we just kind of develop a routine and start doing it and just stick to that routine, is it's almost like we might not be doing something that actually serves us. We might not be doing something that is actually fitting our goals. It might just be like, oh yeah, I'm always the kind of person who has to play games on my phone every night from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. And that's just what I like to do to wind down. But maybe it's not actually winding you down. Maybe you kind of get stressed out and it feels like an obligation, and it's not really helping you at all. It's not really developing anything. So maybe that time would be better served like working on a hobby you have, or thinking of educating yourself on, a different investment strategy to make more money, or maybe learning to cook because you love to cook and you love to nurture yourself. Or that's another great example. Maybe you're like, well, I just hate to cook and I only want to get takeout and my food tastes awful, so I always have to spend a huge amount of my budget every month on getting DoorDash. When the reality is, maybe if you like actually spent like a weekend watching cooking videos on YouTube and like learning some basics, find that actually you're pretty good at it. And maybe even if it's not your favorite thing, you can easily whip together a few meals at the beginning of the week and eat that throughout the week. And then you find that your food budget goes down like to 10% of what it was or something. I don't know, but it's almost like we have to pay attention to kind of where our energy is flowing and making sure that it is serving our goals, dreams, wishes, and that we're utilizing our time in the best way. So of course we need time to rest. It's not to say go 150 miles an hour and just push yourself to the limit, but actually I think just kind of getting rid of like the extraneous, non-useful work, it gives us more time to focus on the work we really love and the stuff that's really going to benefit us. And if something brings you a deep sense of fulfillment and brings you a lot of joy, then absolutely do it 100%. But if you find yourself getting burned out and when you really look at your time, you're like, yeah, I spent a lot of time doing this last week and honestly, it didn't really help me at all. It didn't make me feel rested. I didn't feel rejuvenated. Like it's almost like, you know how sometimes you can get into like TV shows and you'll find yourself being like, oh, I gotta watch this latest episode. And then you're like not even really enjoying it. And you're just kind of like, let me watch this so I know what's going on. And it's almost like you want to get it over with. Like, has that ever happened to someone else? I don't watch a ton of TV, but that was one of the reasons, is because I would find that like I would just be so disappointed when I was watching TV with like the episodes, and I'd be like, this is a waste of time. Like this isn't actually making me happy. And of course, like I said, spend your time how you want. If you love a TV show and you want to watch it and it brings you joy, by all means. But I think just paying attention to how you feel is going to be really key for you guys in this month, because I do feel like there's kind of like a burnout energy that could happen. And kind of giving yourself permission. It's interesting you guys picked the forgiveness card. I really kind of struggled with like choosing your card. Actually, it was really weird. I had a really hard time finding the right card that resonated with me for you guys. And finally I settled on forgiveness, but I was like, this is so iffy to me. I can't like get my head around this energy. And I'm like, oh, that makes a lot of sense, because I feel sometimes we even have to forgive ourselves. Like sometimes we have these crazy expectations for ourselves. And I find, at least me as a projector, and of course everyone's different, but when I give myself a little bit more space to chill, to relax, to rejuvenate, to take time out to like rest and make sure I'm looking after my emotional side of things, then I'm able to give more to my readings. I'm able to give more to the collective. I'm able to even achieve my goals better. And of course, everyone's different. You know, there's manifesting generators that love being busy, and everyone has their own standard for that. But I just feel like sometimes we can actually benefit from really being mindful about how we're spending our time, and also paying attention to how we feel in the moment, and paying attention to like if something can be tweaked or changed or slightly adjusted so that we can have a happier time. So for your tarot cards, we got the Queen of Cups reversed, the Devil card reversed, the Five of Swords reversed, the Eight of Pentacles, the Hierophant reversed, and the Seven of Cups, and the High Priestess. So again, I feel like this is that energy also of really paying attention to your intuition. And it's so interesting you guys got the Hierophant reversed, because the Hierophant is often expectations put onto us by society, put onto us by like our boss or authority figures. The Hierophant, you know, back in the day, the church was the ultimate authority figure. And so the Hierophant can really talk about traditions and, you know, long held beliefs and stuff like that. And sometimes, you know, even with like parents and stuff, they can have this idea that you have to do things a certain way, or that, well, when I was that age, or I want you to do this career because that's what's respectable. And I think it's so important, wherever the judgment is coming from, just to get in touch with what we want for our life. That's why I always mention how the sun is exalted in Aries, because I think that's so interesting and really says it all, because Aries is a selfish sign. Everyone, you know, knows that about Aries. It is the sign of the self, and the sun is actually exalted there. So we're supposed to, the sun is the soul, and it's really, you know, such an important card or placement for astrology, and really says everything about who we are. And the thing we're supposed to do the most is to focus on the self. That's why we came to this planet. Not to say that like relationships aren't important, and opposing Libra energy, because Libra opposes Aries, isn't important. And you know, it is, but also at the end of the day, we have to make sure that what we're doing is in deep alignment with our greatest good, our greatest desires, our greatest objectives, and that we're not just doing something that someone else wanted for us. The devil card can talk about that as well. I often think for me, how the devil card often shows up, even though it has a lot of traditional associations with addiction and stuff, but I actually think a lot of times it's a different form of addiction. It's kind of a I think I have to kind of energy. It's like, oh, well, I need to do this. I need this. It's like a compulsion. It's kind of thoughtlessness. It's mindless. It's like just doing something without opening your eyes up and being like, wait, what am I doing? You know, we all know that person that just seems to like cycle through relationships mindlessly, or seems to just kind of go around their life very unawakened, you know, very just going through the motions. And I honestly think that's devil energy. Is kind of like when we're very unconscious. And I do feel like there's an encouragement for you to just pay a lot of attention to where your cup has felt full, where you guys have felt really fulfilled. Kind of there's a reminder here that like the sky is the limit. You guys have limitless possibilities, but one thing we don't have an unlimited amount of is time, right? So I mean, even though, I don't know, time is a different concept on the astral plane, so I don't like to emphasize time too much, but I think we need to know that like time is precious and we should use it for our best purposes. And as long as something is deeply fulfilling us, as long as something feels in alignment with us, as long as it makes us feel really good and it makes us feel, you know, like we're on our path. And I don't mean just good in the moment, as in like, I'm going to eat 8 bags of potato chips because it tastes good in the moment, even though afterwards I'm going to feel like, you know, completely uncomfortably full and probably pretty sick. That's not the kind of good I'm talking about. I'm talking about good in the sense of kind of eudaimonia, as the Greeks called it, you know, serving a higher purpose and knowing that something is fulfilling on a very deep soul level, knowing that it's fulfilling some kind of a soul purpose, soul contract, the reason why we came to this planet, and feeling like we're moving in the right direction, feeling like this is serving our highest good and it's serving the collective and all of that. I think for you guys, this is just kind of a reminder that you don't have to engage in things that don't make you feel that way. And if something is taking you out of alignment with that, if something is making you feel run down, beat down, downtrodden, you know, like, oh, I'm exhausted, but I have to do it. I don't have a choice. I think you'd be surprised that you have more choices than you realize. And sometimes you got to kind of pull back from those situations and kind of recalculate and put things back together. You know, it's kind of like they're showing me Tetris in my mind. So it's kind of like how with Tetris, you know, you can like adjust the little whatever they are. I don't even know what they are. Those little cube things, and you can the little shapes, and you can fit them into different places so that they fit in perfectly, but you know, you get to have a say of where they fit in. So it's kind of like, of course we all need to do things to like pay the bills, and we all need to do things to work on our relationships, and we, you know, need to get sleep and stuff, but you get to adjust how that happens. So maybe there's a way for you, if you're like, I'm really feeling burnt out at work, you could talk to your boss about having a different workload and doing things that would appeal more to your strengths, not your weaknesses, you know? And maybe if you're really feeling burnt out in your relationships, it's because there's something that's really bothering you with your partner that you need to bring up and like mention to them. But it's almost like when you can learn to mention these things up front and kind of nip it in the bud, then the energy doesn't have to like spiral out of control and go really crazy. So I do feel like this month you're kind of being called upon yourself. And with the Queen of Cups reverse, it can show that someone's kind of emotionally at loose ends because of that. So emotionally, they may be going through it. They may feel really volatile. They may feel really upset all the time, or just unhappy, generally speaking. And it may be because they're not kind of looking after themselves in that way. And when the Queen of Cups is upright, she's always going to listen to her intuition. She's probably, I mean, we got the two most intuitive cards, the High Priestess and the Queen of Cups by far. Queen of Cups is the Queen of Water, which rules over intuition, spirituality. So when she's upright, she's going to listen to her intuition. And not only that, but she's going to deeply honor her feelings. Someone was mentioning to me that on TikTok, there's a lot of negativity around water signs. And I guess people have been talking about that, which I thought was really interesting. As a water sun, moon, and grand water trine, I'm a little biased, but I think that's so fascinating, I guess, because first of all, it's like, what are you even doing learning astrology if you don't respect water? You know what I mean? It's literally the domain of spirituality. It's just kind of funny. But I think it says a lot about our culture and our society, the way people do dishonor water, because I do think that, especially if you're kind of unevolved, you might think, what's the point of water? What's the point of emotions? Let me just go really far, 100%, and push myself. And let me just lean into like earth, fire energy, and maybe some intellectual air, but I don't need any emotions. Emotions bring me down. And that's just such a silly, and kind of, not to be mean, but stupid interpretation of things. That's my Aries third house. That's a little fire for the people that love all the fire energy. And Mercury first house. But yeah, I think that it is a stupid interpretation, because the thing about emotions is they don't go away just because you're not like acknowledging them. They're not just going to magically vanish. And we've seen that that's kind of the destructive energy of water, is like, if you don't pay attention to water, it has the power to do so much destruction. Like, you'll see that someone doesn't maintain a dam. I mean, that happened recently. Like, there was a lot of rainfall and a dam burst that hadn't been well maintained, and it completely flooded. Multiple people were passed away. And it's insanely destructive. Those kinds of events, water events, have the power to totally destroy, like you see in tsunamis and stuff like that. So when we don't respect water in our life, when we don't pay attention to our moods, our emotions, when we try to bury it, when we try to just forge full speed ahead and just like, well, you know what, I don't care, and I'm just going to do it. I have been really exhausted and burnt out, and yeah, I've been really upset, but you know what, I don't have time for this. I'm just going to keep going. That's when we can really run into trouble, And if we could actually pause, take a step back, and sit with the emotion, which can be painful at the time and kind of scary. And if we could just actually allow it to flow through us and be like, why am I upset? What's going on here? What is in my emotional field? And can I adjust it? Can I honor it? And then find ways to respect it? Because if you don't respect water, like I said, it has the power to flood you. It has the power to be a tsunami. We all know those people who repress their emotions so deep and then like go crazy one day. So it's really important to kind of respect it. Respect, like with earth, you could kind of like ignore earth, right? And it's probably not going to go crazy the way water will. Water can turn into a raging rapid, really, really violent and really intense, crashing waves and all of that. So my point is, of course, all the signs have destructive energy, but my point is that I feel like there's a call for you to really honor and really respect that emotional side of yourself and whatever you're going through in the month of August. Not to like push it to the side, not to be like, oh, well, whatever, I'll just deal with this later. Yeah, I'm stressed about this, but you know what? I don't have time. It's too bad. No, to pause, take a step back, and allow those emotions to flow through you and really respect whatever they may be. And then figure out, okay, maybe I can adjust my life if I'm feeling really like unappreciated within my relationships. Maybe I can talk to someone and be like, by the way, I know you totally didn't mean to do this, but it took me so much effort to get ready for your birthday party, and I'm totally not trying to be like starting a fight, or I'm not mad. I totally understand how you might not have even known that, but honestly, it makes me feel a little unappreciated. I don't feel like you really realized how much work I put in, and lately it's just I don't feel like I get that feedback from you, and I want to get that feedback. I want to get that love from you so that I can feel better. You know what I mean? Like, just bringing it up, respecting it, not trying to push it down and trying to stifle it. I honestly think that's the best way to deal with emotions. And as a Cancer sun and moon, Pisces sun, Cancer moon, Grand Water Trine, I feel I'm qualified to talk about handling out of control emotions at this point in my life, okay? Because I've been through it. But I think that you have to bring it up. I think you have to like try to deal with it. You have to try to nip it in the bud. You can't run away from emotions, because they will always kind of catch up to you. They will, you can't really like just get rid of water. You know what I mean? Water, it like you could try to bury it. You can, it's really hard to like, if you've ever even like made a big spill, like not known your shower curtain was not fully closed, or your shower door was open, and then you come out and you're like, oh my god, it's like a flood, and you have to like mop it all up, and it takes so long, and there's so much water in places you never expected. versus just dealing with it from the, from the initial point. So that's my point for you guys is honestly, I think you need to really get a hold of what you've been thinking and feeling lately as you enter into August so that you guys don't really get burnt out and kind of giving yourself permission to go a little easy. There definitely could be a message for you guys if you've been considering taking a vacation in August, but you're like, I don't know if I can, I don't know if I should. I would say this is a message to go for it and that you guys should embrace that, because I do think that it would be good for you to be able to kind of rest, relax, lay back a little bit. Just kind of chilling, maybe going easier on your workload. And it's so funny because I find that sometimes that's exactly what we need to actually increase our output and to increase our production. Everyone's different. I always mention Danielle Steele. She has this insane Leo stellium, and I mention her because she's so prolific. She's, I think, the third best-selling author of all time. It's like J.K. Rowling at the top, some other lady, I don't know her name. She's like an older writer, and by older I just mean like from like the 1920s and 50s and stuff. So I don't know her stuff. But then there's Danielle Steele, and she puts out like 3 or 4 books a year. And a few years ago they interviewed her and she gave her working schedule, and she works like 20 hours straight, and then she sleeps for 4 hours, and then she wakes back up, or maybe even more, like she works for like 26 hours, and she sleeps for 4 hours, and she's back up again in the morning working again, like insane. And when you look at her chart, it's just this massive stellium in Leo with all her planets except one. I can't remember what the other one is, and it's I can't remember what sign it's in, but they're all concentrated together. And for someone with those placements, I'm kind of like, okay, I could get it. Like where you have this endless reserve of energy, all planets able to tap into the sun, all the planets able to build on each other, all the planets, conjuncting Mars and Mercury and everything. So you have a massive flow of energy there. I could see, and everyone's different. So take, how it resonates for you. Some people don't need as much time to kind of just sit back and chill. But I personally find that I'm able to be a lot more inspired and actually get more downloads about where I'm supposed to head when I take that time to relax, when I'm not pushing myself and feeling like I have to do this and go there and then I have to do that and blah, blah, blah. I can't really even hear spirit in those moments. I really hear spirit in the quiet, in the peace. I mean, and I think the best time to meditate is kind of like when you're half asleep, like when you've just woken up and you're still kind of dreamy and drifty and half on the astral plane. I love meditating. If I can like spend an extra, as long as possible in bed, just listening to the download spirit gives me, that's my ideal. And I really think that, like I said, it comes in the quiet, it comes in the peace, it comes when our mind isn't so active and we're not worrying. So yeah, that's the message for August. Let's get into some more cards. The Magician and the Mirror. Okay, the Thinking Woman. Door to personal healing and happiness, anxiety. Let's get one more. Envy. So yeah, I think that for you guys with this Magician and the Mirror, that's really a message about being an alchemist. It kind of looks like the Temperance card, and the Temperance card is generally a card about patience, balance, taking things easy, having a lot more balance in your life. And also about how that's how you kind of transmute. You transmute by combining, actually, it's funny, water and fire. So again, to all the TikTok haters, I haven't seen a lot of water hate on TikTok, but maybe it's not on my algorithm because I know I wouldn't like it. I don't know, but that's what people were telling me, is like everyone was hating on water placements. But anyway, I do think, that's how you make magic. That's how the alchemists, that's why they show the alchemists balancing water and fire. So the TikTokers are wrong about that too. But anyway, I truly believe that, honestly, for you guys, it's like combining those downloads, combining that peaceful, spiritual, emotional energy, respecting your emotions. And it's also worth noting that water is a spiritual energy. Water is the most intuitive energy, and it's also highly emotional. So again, it's so funny how people disrespect emotions, how people will put that down and be like, oh my God, just get over it. Oh, who cares about emotions? But it's like, that's literally the path to spirit. Like, are you crazy? That's how we get downloads. Literally your emotions, like when you feel really disrespect, and it's not to say like completely live off your your emotions. But if you are perpetually in a situation where you feel disrespected, or where you feel run down, or where you feel super happy, those are all important indicators and kind of like a little compass directing you to your right path. So I just think there's a real call to ask you guys this month to pay attention to your emotions and to honor them and to really look after them. And I do feel like Spirit wants to give you a lot of these downloads. Spirit wants to give you a lot of information about where you should be heading, what you should be doing, what you're supposed to be up to. And I don't feel like it's going to be as loud, or you're going to be as able to hear it if you're just like running around super busy all the time. Let's get some message cards to end this reading with for pile number 3. Pile 3. Okay, so we got, you are the truth seeker, awakening, actualizing, transcending. How can you invite more grace to guide you? Turn your worry into wonder, surrender into the experience. What possibilities can you dream into reality? Your true tribe can't show up until you do. And let's get one more card. So this could also be with like backstabby relationships or people who aren't honoring you. I think it's always wise to do like a little stock of like the people in our life, how we feel about them. You guys might feel called to like block or mute certain people on social media this month, or kind of, you know, take stock of certain friendships if you feel like the person is always disrespecting or kind of not really for you. We also got this card to receive. You must release. What can you let go of? What do you want to receive? And I think that is an important thing as well. Like it kind of fits into this whole message where like we might want to manifest something, but we're so overwrought, we're so stressed out all the time, we're in such a tired, negative energy. We feel so obligated. We feel like, well, I have to do this. I'm so burnt out, but I have to do it. Or I'm in this relationship, I don't feel happy, but I have to be in it. When the reality is you have ultimate freedom. You guys are the map maker. You can decide what happens in your life, where you go, what happens. You can set your mind on whatever you want and then make that happen. And that will be the outcome for you, what you set your mind on. So letting go, releasing, making space in our life for the things that actually bring us joy, happiness, and satisfaction, I think is going to be really key for you guys. And there is that choice you can make to spend more time this month doing hobbies that bring you joy, or resting, or sleeping, or puttering around the kitchen and cooking, whatever makes you feel healed and happy, or to burn yourself out and just kind of like continue this wheel of tension, you know. So be really mindful with how you're spending your time, what you're doing, and all of that. So anyways, I really hope that resonates. Pile 3, let me know if it did in the comments. I always love hearing from you, hearing your thoughts, observations, and reactions. So definitely let me know. Also, make sure to give this reading a thumbs up, hit the like button if it did resonate with you, and make sure to subscribe and turn those notifications on. Hit the little bell so you can find out as soon as I post next. And if you guys want to see more of my content, then be sure to head to my Patreon, where I post all my additional readings. I just posted one all about where you should relocate to. So what kind of area would best serve your energy, whether you're moving or traveling to somewhere, what kind of environment and location would really fit your energy the best. And then before that, I posted one all about what makes you sexy. So that's kind of a spicy, juicy one. But as soon as you sign up for my Patreon, you get access to all my additional readings. So just around 60 additional readings about love, career, spirituality, money, family, friends, past life, future life, so many different topics that we cover, about 60. So there's a lot to go over. So if you'd like to join me over there, then be sure to head to my Patreon. The link is underneath the timestamps in the comments and the description. And if you guys want to get a private one-on-one reading with me, you can also get that at my website, briarrosetarot.com. And you can sign up for a half hour or a full hour-long session with me, have me pull tarot for you, read your astrology, channel mediumship, or intuitively. You can get a year ahead reading, a love reading, a career reading, just do a little energy check and pop the hood, see what's going on. You really get to ask me about whatever you want within reason. So if you guys want a reading with me, then head to my website, briarrosetarot.com, and the link for that is in my description. Thank you guys so much for watching. I am sending you so much love and light, and I'll be back very soon again for another reading. So take care, guys, and I'll see you soon. Bye.